I have no idea how this is going to turn out, but so, oh, I like the sound of that. It's pretty cool. Yeah, you know when you go to an art gallery and you see an installation and it totally goes over your head? Well, this video might be a little bit like that. But anyway, I'm going to do a landscape, and one of the things that I want to do is really loosen up my art. Again, get out of your own way, get out of your comfort zone. Okay, I'm not really liking the way this... Okay, thank you for that. I'm not really... Again? Really? Okay, so let's talk about the paper first. Do you see this? This is a really super inexpensive paper from a dollar store, but I really like it. I really like this paper. One of the reasons, can you feel that? It's got a slight edge. It's got a slight grainy tone. It has a slight grainy feel, and the color, seeing as it's not pure white, can I find some white paper? Hold on. Okay, just do a few things, but see, just compare the colors. Do you see the contrast? So if I use white pastel on this, it's going to show up more. It might be inexpensive, but I think it's great. I don't think it would be great for watercolor, or well, maybe, or paint if you lay it on thick enough, but it will buckle. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is to tear a page out of this, and I have to be really careful. There we go. Now tell me if you like this kind of video. I'm just being really experimental here. But okay, now I need to tape it down. And why is it so popular? Apparently, it says here, it's a unique form of relaxation that engages the senses in a deeply soothing manner. The tingling sensations are often triggered by certain auditory cues like whispering, tapping, and offer an escape from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. So it's meant to relax you. I hope you find this ASMR relaxing. You can turn off the sound if you like and just watch my technique as I attempt to be much freer and looser. So okay, so I have all my tools ready here, and I'm going to do a landscape again with lots of color, and I've pretty much separated all my colors, trying to keep a neat desk, and basically I considered all the colors that I would use, and I grouped them according to the colors. I have my tools on one side, so I'll be using some oranges and yellows. Keep them on one side just for sake of organization. I have some blues, purples, pinks and whites, which I'm keeping together. I may use a touch of my pan pastels, but I think I'm going to concentrate on using my stick pastels, as I use my pan pastels quite often because they are really convenient. So that's the look of my desk at the moment. So let's get started on this. My work is usually, I find, quite tight, so I want to be a little bit looser this time, and I'm going to start doing background. This paper, so the lower half is going to be maybe like a snowy area, the lower third I should say. So I'm just going to rough it in. I'm really trying to be loose here, and I know this paper, it does give a kind of a smooth finish. Maybe a little bit of blue in the sky, and bit of orange. Okay, let's try this one. So depending on the paper, you're going to find that the pastels stick better or less. This is not necessarily pastel paper, this is all-purpose paper. And because I want to be loose and experimental, I didn't want to experiment too much with my pastel paper. I guess I'm being a little bit precious with that. So this is my atmospheric type background. So this is my foreground, my middle ground, and the sky, which is way in the background. So what I'm going to just do is continue to build up some colors. Just hints of green here and there. This works really well. So different pastels. I mean, this doesn't look like much right now. This is much looser than I normally work, but we'll get there. I have no idea how this is going to turn out, but okay, it's ornamental. Using the white to kind of blend out some of the colours. So again, the rule of thumb, you can use a lighter colour to actually blend, and I find that this one really works. So instead of using water or alcohol, which some papers might not take too well to, a lighter colour, and the white is really handy, just to smooth out some of the colours. And there are different methods, but this seems to be working for me. So you see you've got lovely muted shades going in there. And this particular paper, you can see the dust that it creates. So it's not really gritty enough to hold the colours, but okay. Once we've got a semblance, and I can start building up the colours again. So just in between here, and it's a little bit darker. And let's have a little bit more trees up here. These edges of the water, a little bit darker. Now I'm using my blue. I use the white for now, using my blue just to get more layers to blend these colours just a little bit. I'm not using it on all the areas because this is a lighter area, so I know I want that lighter. Really, it's just about trying to build up a nice texture, colours in between. At first it looked like nothing, now it kind of looks like a blurry landscape. Okay, how are we doing with that? It's kind of fun. Ooh. Kind of fun. It's loose, much looser than I normally work. Okay, look at that. That's given me blurry seaside landscape. I'm just going to knock off some of that dust, if you can see that. I'm not going to blow it because that won't be good, but I'm going to knock it off. But I'm liking the looks of this a lot. It can go either way. We could do mountain, we could do trees and a river, but yeah, it's given me a lot to go with in my imagination here. Okay, I think I'll start with intensifying the sun a little bit. So I just have to decide where my sun is going to be, and I think it's going to be about here. And just with my white. I don't know, what is a landscape without the sun? I don't know, it just becomes a really, really nice focal point. So I'm just going to intensify the colours here. Beautiful, nice round sun going on there. That is so cute. Okay, and then just for emphasis, colour around the sun, and maybe even go a little bit deeper with some orange, because I guess this is like maybe sunset. I think this calls for my favourite tool. I'm not going to go too crazy with that because I can always add more layers as we go along. But where's my circle gone? Let's create a little bit more of a circle. And just pull the colour over to this side a little bit. Okay, that's looking dramatic, right? I'm going to put a few clouds in the background, and before I commit, I'll do a lighter blue. Just a little drama in the back there. Some blue. I'm wondering whether I should intensify it a little bit, just to reflect some of this going on here. So just a little. So basically I've added my blue, so now I'm going to wipe my finger. Give it another layer. Oh, look how nicely that smooths it out. Always a lighter colour is a really handy tool, because your hand actually does pick up a lot of pigment, but if I want to just pull it a little bit, I'll use my fingers. Okay, very cool. To me it looks like it needs just a little bit to pull these two together. So maybe just a little bit like that. Here we go. That's good. So now I think I'm ready to start doing some trees. I still have a lot of dust here, but you know what? I will leave that for now. Next, I think I'm going to try and work a little bit on this river. A landscape always looks great with a little river or a path going through it, because it leads our eyes back. So I think now you can use your finger. I'm going to use this, but you can use just for edges and blend it in. And we're going into the distance here. I'm not going too hard because I want to really commit. I don't want to have to do too much correction. So remember in my last drawing I said where the land meets the water, there's always like a slightly dark little edge, and it just really works. And use a little, just a tiny bit of black. It's not too much. I really want blues and the purples to do the work. I can always go darker later. So I'm trying to be loose. I know I'll go and tighten things up a lot, but let's stick with looseness for a while. Okay, so I think now we're kind of ready to put in some trees. So remember in my last thing I said, if you wanted to do trees, use a light color, because if it doesn't quite work, it's easy to blend it in. So my trees I want, okay, so do want a little bit of ground that's dark back here. That's my horizon line. Blend it in a little. It's one of my horizon lines. Let's bring it up a little bit at this edge. Okay. So I'm using my white. I'm going to sort of rough in where I want my trees to be. So there's a little tree I want in the background, and maybe a bigger tree here. It's got branches. Another tree here. I think I want this tree higher, so there you go. It's okay. I'll fix that. Let's not worry about that too much. Okay, so one tree there, it's got branches, another here, smaller tree, and one tree here extending a little bit up. And again, once I've committed to it, I can actually do more details. I think I want a big tree about here. So this tree is going to extend. Maybe some branches coming out here, reaching towards the sun. Maybe another branch here. And some branches here. So now I'm going to go in with some darker colours. Okay, so I have a bit of black pastel here, which I'm going to use very sparingly, just to indicate where. Okay, so I'm going to go here, because things close to the ground under the trees are dark. Here, a little bit here. This tree I am committed to, so I will try to establish. I'm going to be brave. Okay. So and pray that it works. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to go with the process of just blending that black out a little. I don't want the black to be overcast, so I'm just blending in with a little purple. Here. Nothing is plain black or plain white, so it usually has a bit of colour, and so I'm using this purple just to create a purpley black. Look, everything out a little bit. For the trees, I'm going to use the purple. Then I'm going to use the black. So we have my trees. Time for tea. Okay, so good. Okay, I have my cover so that nothing gets into my tea and I can take a sip as I work. The sticks, I'm just really randomly using my silicone stick to create the illusion of blurry branches. We've got our main branch and blurry edges. So I'm going to do this for all the others and we'll come back to this. So here, just as I did with the trees, I'm blocking in where the leaves are going to go. Now, because I'm adding some greenery and leaves on the trees, I'm going to add a little bit of green in the background and a little in the foreground, just to tie things in. There's one thing that really bothers me about this painting and the uniformity of the spread of the trees. So I'm just going to add another little tree in here. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below. Here's to experimenting and being creative. Much love. Peace.